Coach, went 2-0 during your opening week. You have a week off here. Just kind of, where's the mindset and what are you guys looking to get out of this next 8-day break that you have before you go to Boise State?
Well, obviously, we're thrilled to be 2-0 and, took care of business. It's the two home games that you have before you hit the road. And just excited for this team and excited for the growth that we've already seen in how they approach game day and practice and the intensity of the game and practice. And I really am probably referring to our freshmen more than anybody. They're the ones that have to grow the most, and you see the most growth on a daily basis. But we're just going to spend the next, 5 or 6 days really, making sure that we're good at what we do, maybe adding a few things offensively. And, clearly we can spend some time on Boise and some of the things that they want to do and gear our defensive game plan around them. But so most of the time it's more about us and how we're going to approach our day-to-day and just getting better every single day. We're in the gym.
As a coach, how do you like this break here? You just played a couple of games. You were able to see how your team looks with the lights on. Now you're able to take a week off, really look at everything, dive into it. Do you like having that, being able to really dissect and fix things you need to fix, or would you rather kind of jump back into it and get another game out there before you guys head off into the road?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you can't, I don't want to waste time, fretting over what I can't control. And in a perfect world, we would set the games exactly the way we want to, but in scheduling, you just don't get to. So you're going to have some breaks that you might not want. You're going to have rapid-fire games that you might not want, and clearly see sun before we go to 3 games in a row, and then come back and play pretty quickly after that in December. So I don't think it's a bad thing to ever have a little bit of a break and let your players have a little bit more time off and get them back in the gym and get some extra shots in and things like that. Get them, back to being students and student athletes along the way. But we want to take advantage of this situation. If we were playing games, we would want to take advantage of that situation. So we're not going to worry too much about it. I think we have an opportunity to get better, and we're gonna really dive in and try to do that.
What have you seen, just when looking back on it, what have you seen in these 2 wins that you've really liked from your team, and just also on the flip side, where are some areas that you would maybe like to see some improvements and things you're going to focus on fixing?
Well, again, I look back at our close scrimmage that we had. We learned a lot about ourselves. I look back on the Beijing team that came in here where we kind of sputtered around for 3 quarters and we tried to play big and play with our freshmen on the court. And then we realized late in that game, let's go small. And we were really effective going back kind of smallish. That gave us some confidence. And I think that's the big thing that I look at this team is we have more pieces in place. We have more options. If one thing's not working, I think we have players that you can bring in, different styles, big bodies that not just potentially have scoring punch, but also defensive presence at the rim, rebounding, and even fouls. We have fouls in different spots because we don't have to play too many extended minutes. So I just love the fact that we've got our depth is better, and I think playing these games so far has just made us realize we got a lot of options. We don't have to rely on any one person. We can sub people. I think everybody that we've kind of put in games and situations. I think of Nell. Maybe Nell didn't have the best floor game against Brigham Young, and Lynn came in and did some great things and got some easy baskets for Yo in a big stretch for us. So really nice to have a little bit more options that we don't have to just live and die by 1 or 2 players, and I think that's a big key for us.
One of the areas that you guys have really been strong at these first 2 games, the area that you wanted to improve on, is defense and rebounding. You've been very strong in those areas, so how are you going to continue to take that progress? Because it is a progression, so
yeah.
What is going to happen here in the next few days to make that next step and keep that consistency?
Yeah, so statistics, you can read a lot into statistics, and I think the one, obviously you said it, rebounding was such a weakness for us a year ago. And I'm not convinced that we're fixed yet. I don't know that we are a good rebounding team or a great rebounding team. I think we played a finesse Beijing team a very small Pepperdine team, and kind of not a real power team in Brigham Young. So we out-rebounded all of those teams, but I don't know that that makes us a good rebounding team yet. I think we're going to see some unbelievably great rebounding teams when we go to Boise. They beat us on the boards a year ago. I just happened to catch a little bit of South Carolina and Maryland, and South Carolina just whipped Maryland all over the boards, and that's a rebounding team. The emphasis is in the bodies that can go do it. So we're going to keep making a point about that, and again, if we can make that into a strength of ours, again, that's going to help us on those nights when the ball doesn't go in the basket, and you don't have to rely on shot making, but you can get extra possessions, offensively, and then obviously keeping the other team from getting extra possessions is really the essence of winning and losing at any level.
What going back to Saturday's game, what does a win like that against a BYU team that made the NCAA tournament last season, came off a 26-win campaign, and won a game in that tournament? How is that a confidence builder for you all as you move forward? How big of a game was that for you all in building your confidence moving forward?
It definitely is a confidence builder. My bigger issue is sometimes I think we get too confident too quickly. It's an amazing thing. So we have to. It's a fine line between being confident and having success in winning, scoreboard winning, and staying hungry and determined and not satisfied with where you are and the growth of our team. And I'm hoping and believing that our team is on that side of feeling good about ourselves and the confidence swing and not getting overconfident or thinking we've got this. And, it's human nature. You've got to fight that. It doesn't take much to feel bad about yourself, and it doesn't take much to feel great about yourself. And we want to take wins. Even in wins, we want to treat it like, what if we'd lost this game? What would we be worried about? What would we be complaining about? What kind of film work would we be doing if we had lost these two games? And so we kind of treat both wins and losses the same way. It's just a way to let's emphasize the things that we've got to get better on, knowing that someone down the line is going to expose us if we don't improve them on every night out.
Another quality opponent you got next week. It's on the road at Boise State. What are you expecting out of the Broncos, and how do you expect your team to react to their first challenge on the road this season?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to go on the road. Obviously, we have a tough road schedule, not only there, but this is the beginning of it. Boise last year was one of those magical nights for us, and we didn't have very many of them. The ball went in the basket. We defended them really well. They had a really bad night shooting. They had a lot of open shots and missed. And so you've got everybody back off of that team. You hardly lose anybody. They have most of their scoring punch and the rebounding back. They add a player, the big presence in the post. So, and then, they have a chip on their shoulder because we beat them significantly last year. And they're traditionally, they win. They win championships. They know what winning's all about. So they're going to have a lot of pride. We're playing on their home court. It's going to be a really tough environment. So as we know all that, and then you just prepare knowing that you're going to get their best shot, and they're going to be really unbelievably good. And for us to have a chance, we've got to do certain things to make sure that we are in the game late and can maybe pull off a road win.